The fun thing about comments is that anything can
Which
happen.
means we get a lot of alternate Earths, baby. A lot of them.
The most fun ones are ones you didn't even know about. So today on Top 10 Nerd, we're gonna break down
The top 10 DC variants you've never seen before. Number 10, Strange Visitor Superman. Okay, so technically this Superman is not canon. I just want to get that out in the open. But he is truly one of the more powerful versions of the character, which makes him fun to talk about. In this story, The Adventures of Superman, Superman travels to the 5th dimension and then into another dimension beyond that, and he outlives everything in the universe. Living for literally billions and billions of years, he lives so long and gets so powerful that he gains new abilities like being able to split into thousands of copies of himself, allowing the hero to do what he does best throughout the universe. He outlives all the gods, cosmic entities, mortals, angels, demons, everything.
He watches countless civilizations rise and fall and learns insane amount of skills like telepathy, which I didn't know was a skill you could learn.
Me neither. He absorbs ridiculous amounts of energy, learns magic and strange sciences through all of his copies, and then he just reabsorbs them at the end of everything.
He can fly faster than the entropic waves of the end of the universe, which I don't even know what it means
either.
But he can also manipulate the fabric of reality through sheer strength, so pretty
I know what that means.
Yeah. At number 9, Martian Manhunter 1 million.
In DC 1 million, we get a John Johns, or John Jones, whatever you want to say, who has lived until the year 85,271, all the way to the 853rd century.
That's insane. Now, Johns had fought as a hero on Earth when humans took to space, and he did the same when he lived among alien species, and he fought alongside the Legion of Superheroes, fighting off massive planetary space robots, and he slept for 18,000 years, fought an alien race known as the Swarm for like 20,000. So he did a lot.
That's basically what happened. He led a war against this race, the Swarm, back on Earth, and when that was over, he went and lived back on Mars and found himself. Namaste.
Then Darkseid showed up. He took over the Earth and then sought to turn Mars into a new apocalypse.
Martian Manhunter, in response to that, led an entire war against Darkseid, and in his final trap, he lured Darkseid to surrender to the Source and to become trapped inside of it.
The Source Wall, in return, gave John one wish, and his wish was a clean and free Mars, and to have peace.
The Source granted that wish and fused Manhunter and his thoughts with the core of the planet, turning John into a living Mars.
I don't know how you get that from that. Well, that's okay. Wishes are weird. Anyways, any life that grew there was a part of him, and so the humans that lived on Mars started to pick up Martian traits, and eventually the Martian race was reborn through Martian Manhunter, becoming Mars itself and being able to manifest both telepathically and through the sand itself.
And at number 8 today is the Joker of Earth 31.
His version of the Joker is quite a bit different from many of the others we've seen before.
Working under the much more strict, mean, and pretty militaristic Bruce Wayne from the Frank Miller's Dark Knight universe, Dick Grayson was eventually fired from being Robin for incompetence, presumably because he just couldn't get over the passing of his parents.
Years and years later in The Dark Knight Strikes Again, this version of Grayson goes a little bit crazy.
He goes through an experimental procedure that makes him essentially immortal through cellular regeneration powers, with the side effect of him being driven completely insane.
With his newfound abilities, he couldn't be unalived by almost anything, and he was attacked with acid, thermite, a C4, and even had his head taken off with no success of ending him.
Damn! He became the second Joker after the original one and took out several retired superheroes, including the Creeper and the Guardian.
After attempting to do the same to Catgirl, Batman finally took him down by throwing him into lava and extinguishing all of his cells simultaneously. Pretty good strat. I mean, I don't know why that hasn't been used on like Wolverine or Deadpool. Lava, guys. At number 7 is the 53rd world.
Yes, for this point, we're going to be talking about an entire alternate Earth instead of just one character.
The 53rd world, named by the smart primates who live there, was a world unknown to the rest of the multiverse.
It's set in a near future where presumably the world is inhabited by super smart apes, like Planet of the Apes style.
Oh, and also immortality was achieved in 2067, so there's still a shot for us, meaning that all these ultra smart apes are immortal.
We know that there exists alternate ape versions of Superman, Batman, the Atom, and Aquaman.
The first existence of this Earth was revealed in 2018's Dark Knight's Rising: The Wild Hunt, when Detective Chimp was beginning to lose his intelligence.
The ape heroes show up recruited by Raven, Cyborg, and the Flash to help with the dark multiverse.
Detective Chimp, accompanied by the apes of the 53rd Earth, plus Flash, Cyborg, and Raven, go to Earth Zero's Justice League and fight the dark multiverse forces.
And that's kind of all we know about the 53rd Earth. There's not much. Just
mortal apes. At number 6 is Mazaz from Earth 3.
In a different version of the DC universe, there's this guy named Alexander Luther, a real tough one on Earth 3.
He was the main enemy of the crime syndicate, their top adversary.
What made him stand out? Well, he had this really cool power.
You see, whenever he took down a superpowered person, he could soak up their powers through something called Zaz Lightning.
So the story goes, he got pulled into Prime Earth by the crime syndicate and they locked him up tight in the Justice League Watchtower.
But trouble brewed when the Injustice League showed up.
They wanted to free one guy, Nightwing, but they got confused and ended up near Alex instead.
Things got wild as Alex busted loose, absorbing a bunch of their powers, and went on a rampage.
He clashed with heroes and villains alike, even fought Ultraman and Deathstorm.
But in the end, his powers got swiped by our good old Lex Luther, who knew a trick or two from his Earth 3 self.
Bang! That was it for Alex.
At number 5 is the Bump in the Night Superman.
Bump in the Night tells a different story about Superman.
In this one, things get pretty eerie.
Imagine this. Instead of landing as a cute little baby, Kal-El, our Superman, arrives as a moody little baby.
Now, this isn't the heroic Superman we know. This version is more like that scary kid from Brightburn.
He doesn't really handle anything very well and ends up doing some pretty bad stuff.
So in this story, Kal-El lands in the Kent farm and things take a dark turn.
He gets scared and does something really bad. He basically wipes Jonathan Kent off the face of the earth and terrifies the hell out of Martha.
Imagine her running through the house, scared out of her mind, while this wild and angry Kal-El chases her, talking in a weird language.
He even destroys the farm and makes just a complete mess.
Straight out of a horror movie, right? This version of Kal-El isn't our friendly neighborhood Superman anymore.
He's more like a scary tiny little monster than a superhero, and then just like that, he's gone, leaving chaos behind. Very nice.
At number 4 is the Batman of Earth 32.
Alright, so imagine this. Lex Luthor, the big bad guy, but this time, he's Batman.
So the story behind this one is that Batman's been running around doing his detective thing. He finds out his old gang, the Batman Inc. crew, might be involved in offing a new baddie called Abyss.
But here's the kicker. While Bruce Wayne's busy trying to solve this crime, from the other side of the globe, Lex Luthor swoops into Gotham and says, "Hey Bats, I got your team now, and I'm protecting them no matter what."
He's got some mega plan brewing, and he's dressed up as Batman using all of his cool gear.
See, Batman's resources all drained thanks to Lex Luthor. And Lex, he's showing off his new Batman look, mixing his evil gear with the classic bat suit.
Pretty wild to see Lex in his own Batman getup, making fun of Bruce, forget this, being broke.
Luthor's not just trying to be a hero, he's buying up Batman stuff and trying to prove that he's a better hero.
Could you believe the nerve on this guy? Poor Batman's got a new problem, a Lex Luthor with a Batman complex.
Number 3, Super Martian of Earth 32.
The Super Martian is an amalgamation of Superman and the Martian Manhunter.
It just makes sense for these two characters to meld. I mean, they basically got a similar origin story and very similar powers, so the fusion is definitely welcome.
The in-universe explanation for this amalgamation is that his family tree is a blend of the Martians and the Kryptonians, making for some seriously intertwined lineages.
Imagine growing up with powers from both sides, like one side's your green family and the other side's like your regular family. Kind of weird. Double trouble for sure.
Regular. And get this, the Batman Lex Luthor from earlier that I mentioned, well, it turns out that the two of these characters are actually dating.
Lex can now even read minds thanks to being all buddy-buddy with this half-Martian.
But in doing so, that power brings him some nasty headaches, which, I mean, is kind of a...
Get over it, bro.
Yeah, like headaches, but you can read minds? Come on.
But picture this. Their crib, it's a sweet combo of the Batcave and the Fortress of Solitude. Plus, they had a robotic butler named Fred. Classy.
The Super Martian had a wild ride, getting nabbed by some prophecy and later on saved by the Justice Incarnate.
Oh, and their adventure, it involved some Earth-hopping shenanigans with Apex Lex and other alternate versions. Very, very cool.
At number 2 is Super Doom from Earth 45.
On Earth 45, Super Doom started as a thought experiment, a bright idea by Clark Kent, Lois Lane, and Jimmy Olsen.
They built a machine in Tibet that turned thoughts into reality.
They made the Superman thought form to save the world.
But they had to sell the idea to a sneaky company called Overcorp, which was a bad move.
Overcorp twisted Superman into Super Doom, aiming for maximum popularity.
It became a huge deal globally, and Overcorp used its fame to control the world.
Super Doom, following corporate orders, went on a rampage, eliminating other Supermen across parallel universes.
Its hunted its creators down on Earth 23, hurting Clark and ending Jimmy.
Luckily though, Earth 23's Superman and Lex Luther fought back, trapping Super Doom between universes.
But that just didn't stop it. Superman from Prime Earth fought Super Doom again, winning and turning it into a bomb, which Superman flung onto the moon's dark side, seemingly destroying Super Doom.
But of course, it came back later anyways. It even joined a team of baddies, Injustice Incarnate, to protect the multiverse's separate worlds.
And coming up at number 1 on our list is the Green Lantern from Earth 1.
In the not too distant future, in the alternate world of Green Lantern Earth 1, ex-pilot turned mining worker Harold Jordan works for Ferris Galactic and is part of a crew mining on the asteroid belt.
It's here that this alternate Hal comes across a crashed alien ship containing the Green Lantern ring, a Green Lantern battery, the corpse of Abin Sur, and a robot called Manhunter.
Hal claimed the ring, just taking it off of the alien corpse, which is a bit of a departure from how a Lantern usually gains his ring, and he used it to fight the Manhunter that sprung on him.
Now what happened is that the Manhunter robots were created by the Guardians of the Universe to take out the Green Lanterns, as the Lanterns had grown uncontrollable and they were pretty successful, but also grew out of control, putting the galaxy in peril and leaving the Green Lantern Corps broken and spread thin.
Hal meets up with an equally inexperienced Kilowog, and they go across the universe trying to rally together any surviving Green Lanterns that they can.
The best way I saw this comic described was if Christopher Nolan and Ridley Scott teamed up and made a Green Lantern story.
It kind of feels like that, actually. It's very cool.
Well, that just about sums it up for the top 10 alternate versions of superheroes you've never seen before.
But before you go, if there's a variation of a superhero you would have liked to see in this video, just drop it down in the comments below.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Peace out, nerds!
Oh, I was so
fun.
enjoying that though. Oh, come on.
I don't know.
Just this one video. Just this once.
I don't wanna.
Just this once. Do it. Do
can't.
it. Come on.
No.
The fun thing about. Okay.
Jesus.
Boop bop doop bop ba
Beep bop beep bop ba-do. What would it be like to have a Batman complex?
I'd like to find out.
Going out at night and just beating people up?